Hi everybody, my name is Ercy and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about Contemporary-a-thon. This is an event that's hosted by three booktubers, Chelsea from Chelseadollingreads, Julie from Pages and Pens, and Natasha from myreadingisodd. So I'll link their channels down below. And pretty much this is just an event that's held between February 10th and 16th to read contemporary books according to some specific challenges. Like, you don't have to do the challenges, but it just makes it a little bit more interesting for you guys to actually try to match up your books to these challenges. Because I'm going to be mixing this with another readathon that I want to participate in, my dates are going to be a little weird because I'm going to try to extend it throughout the month of February because some of these books cross over with the other readathon. And the same thing's going to happen with that, so I'll make another video about that as well. Let's just get into it and just start talking about the readathon. So a contemporary book is a book that is within our time span or within the last 10 years or just something that is sort of rooted in our timeline. It's not in like some fantastical world, it's not in the past, it's not historical fiction, it's not like sci-fi in the future, it's just within our time span. So the 7 challenges that they came up with for this readathon is: the first one, it has to be a book with green on the cover. It has to be from a new to you author, a diverse contemporary, a backlist contemporary, one that is dark and hard-hitting, one with an illustrated cover, and one that's beloved by a creator and to give a shout out to that creator. The first book I'm going to be talking about is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Circe'sBooked. This is a book about this boy who's navigating through high school and trying to process some of the traumas that he's gone through in his life. And this book is in the format of like letters that he writes, I believe to himself or like to his aunt or something. This book does meet a lot of the criterias of the challenges. So it has a green cover. I've never read anything from Circe'sBooked, so he'll be a new to me author. This is the backlist. This was written back in 1999, but I think the ideas that are in here still resonate with our time today. Because I think he's trying to process some of the stuff that he's been through, I think some of the themes in here will be sort of dark and hard-hitting. And this book is beloved by a certain creator. Her name is Gabby from Gabbyreads, so I'll link her channel down below. She really loves this book and this book has impacted her, but I don't know that much about this book, so we'll see how it goes. So this is the first book that I'll be trying to read for Contemporary-a-thon. The second book I'm going to try to get to is Mutations by Jorge Comensal. I've never heard about this book. I just saw it at the library and I thought, I love birds. This is a cute bird on a cover and it kind of caught my attention. And then I read the synopsis and I thought this sounded really interesting. And it's a short book. It's a little under 200 pages. And this book is also translated. It was originally written in Spanish back in 2016 and it was just recently published in the English as it was translated by Charlotte Whittle. And so this book is about this guy. He's like a lawyer and he is very talented with his speech, but because he winds up getting cancer of the tongue, his tongue has to be amputated or just taken off. It follows the cancer's perspective of certain people and things in Ramon's life. That sounds really interesting. I think he's raising his kids, so it sort of talks about his kids, his life, and it's supposed to be like a dark comedy. And he receives like a parrot, and the parrot sort of becomes like his other half or his form of communication, I believe. This also has green on the cover. This little guy's got some green on him. A new to me author. I've never heard of Jorge Comensal. It's a diverse contemporary because Jorge Comensal is from Mexico. It's sort of a backlist because it was released in 2016 originally. So, but it's still like a newer book. It's dark and hard-hitting because it's supposed to follow his cancer. This cover is illustrated. This is like a painting of this bird. So there we go. It meets a lot of the challenges. The next book I'm going to be trying to get to is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. And this follows this girl who, she has her boyfriend and they have like this normal life. And then he winds up taking her on a family vacation over to Singapore. Yes, to Singapore. And that's where she finds out that he's very wealthy. He's one of the most eligible bachelors in Singapore. He's like a prince or something, but he's extremely wealthy and he comes from a very wealthy family. I haven't read this. I haven't seen the movie. This also meets a lot of the challenges for this Contemporary-a-thon. It has green on the cover. I've never read anything from Kevin Kwan. And it's an Asian author featuring Asians, so it's diverse. It is a backlist book. It was published in 2013. And I believe this is beloved by a lot of people. A lot of people really love this series. So I'm not going to link other people down below because it'd be way too many to do. But yeah, so Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. Another book that I saw at the library that sort of caught my attention is An Orchestra of Minorities by Chigozie Obioma. This follows a man named Chinonso. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And he's like a young poultry farmer, and he's walking and he sees this lady that's about to throw herself off a bridge. He winds up throwing 2 of his prized chickens over the bridge to show her that what kind of fate that she was trying to give herself. He winds up saving her life and they wind up falling in love. But because he's a poor man, her family is against him being with her. And so he winds up selling all of his stuff, enrolling in university, but to find out that it was a scam and he was never enrolled in the first place. So he winds up having even less than what he started. And this is sort of his journey into trying to rebuild himself in order to prove his love to his girlfriend. So it's sort of like a modern contemporary retelling of the Odyssey by Homer. And it's supposed to also take place in Africa. So he winds up traveling throughout the continent, I believe, because it starts off in Nigeria, but there's a lot of traveling in here as well. And so I've never heard of this author. We got green on the cover. It's diverse because it takes place in Africa, and I believe it's because it has some themes about betrayal, deception, and stuff. Some of the themes in here can be kind of dark. This cover is illustrated. And I have not heard anybody talking about this. So this should be a new one for BookTube, I believe. So I've never heard about it. It sounds interesting and I'm excited to read it. Hopefully I can get to it. The last book on my list is My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite? Braithwaite? I'm not sure how to pronounce her name and I'm very sorry. It follows a girl whose sister winds up having, I believe, killing her boyfriends, or the last 3 boyfriends that she's dated all wound up dead. I don't know much about this. It's gotten a lot of really good reviews. I think it was Russel from Ink and Paper Blog who was talking about it. So I'll also link his channel down below. I love his channel. It just sounds really interesting. I've never read anything from this author. We got green on the cover. It's diverse. It's supposed to be dark and hard-hitting. I mean, we're talking about a serial killer here. The cover is illustrated. Is so beautiful. If you look at this cover, it's so pretty. And Russell from Ink and Paper Blog was raving about it. So those are the books I hope I can read throughout this month. That's why I'm not going to be sort of following the timeline of the readathon, because I do want to get to all of these books and they wound up just meeting the challenges. So my Contemporary-a-thon is just going to last all month long. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you consider subscribing and following me along on Goodreads as well. My account will be linked in the description box. And I hope you guys have an awesome day and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!